Half hour tops. All right. Well, welcome, Mark Z, my friend, Mr. Billion Homes Sold, the king of Downriver, or not Downriver, I'm sorry, Michigan. I'm just Downriver.
Yeah, you're Downriver.
I just got this little piece. You got the big piece. That's right. So thank you for taking a few minutes to join me here. This is just I would like to take a few moments to introduce people that we're partnering with and that we're in business with. And you've been a partner to me in EXP for like 3 years now, but a friend to me for more than that. So
yeah.
How many years ago, Mark?
Gosh, I've been in the business 21 years. How long have you been in?
20 this week, or like this month, like 2 weeks ago, 20.
20, okay. I think, and I met Mike Ferry, I remember, about 3 years in the business. So, yep. And that's when I met you. So it's got to be about 18 years.
So did you work for one brokerage before you and I worked together at Coldwell Banker?
No, it was Coldwell Banker. That was the brokerage, and then, Keller Williams, and then EXP. So I've only been 3 brokerages my entire career.
Maybe I'm 21 years in the business.
Then yeah, you do. Yeah. You know what happens is it's like you avoid reality. It's kind of like your age. You just kind of stop counting and kind of massage the numbers after time.
I'm like, do I even know how old I am? I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta figure that out. Now I'm going to go back because it might be 21 years for me too then, because we worked together at Coldwell Banker and you're saying that was your first brokerage.
Yeah. You know how I know is because I think it's HomeLight, one of the third-party syndication sites. They keep track, and they said that I've been in the business 21 years. So I'm like, okay.
I'll take it. Okay, yeah. Good. Well, that's that actually, when you're saying HomeLight, like my brain immediately goes here because this is like one of the topics I wanted to talk to you about today. Was that you and I got in the business maybe the same time, maybe a year apart from each other, right?
Yeah.
And man, you have blown this thing out of the water and have grown in such a profound way in the same amount of time. And I have my ideas about why that might be, but I think you really know best why that might be. I mean, when you and I met, I believe I was selling more homes than you at that time. I think I was doing like 45 deals a year.
Yeah.
And then when this is going way back, right? And then I remember your office was right next door to mine. We'd knock on the wall and say, "Hey, how do you handle this objection? What do you do?" And then you told me Sandy Radin showing up, your buyer's agent. And I remember thinking, what is this guy getting into? Does he even know what he's talking about?
Well,
and I thought it was a wild idea.
Well, there was no teams back then. It wasn't like, I was, just modeling something. It was kind of an accident, how it all was created and came to be, You
and I were coaching with Mike Ferry at that time. And so how did you get exposed to the team idea? Because it was very new. Like, this is my question. This is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
How do you scale it so quickly? And what's that key to acceleration, essentially?
Yeah.
Like, what was that progression?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do a good amount of these interviews, and I don't know that anyone's asked that. So I think it came by default early in the business, after I started learning how to take listings, which, there was a point in my career which I didn't know how to take listings. I thought listings maybe fell in your lap, as naive as that sounds. When Mike Ferry introduced expired listings and for sale by owners, and you can call these people. Believe it or not, I was in the business for 3 years, over at Coldwell Banker, and nobody there was doing it.
Right.
Nobody was doing it. And, you remember our friend Kathy Schweitzer and Paul Schweitzer, and they brought Mike Ferry to Detroit.
Yep.
And as crazy as that sounds, we had some big producers. You remember we had John Goodman and Michelle Stafford and
Jeff Glover.
Jeff Glover. Jeff Glover he's in our same boat, though. He learned of Mike Ferry when we did.
Yep.
But I'm saying prior to Mike Ferry, we had these mega producers. I remember John Goodman.
Yeah.
I used to look up on the board, and he was on there 10 times and selling millions of dollars. And that's why I aspired to be like. And there was Nancy Downey and Michelle said all these, in my mind, not just my mind, they were mega icon agents. They were huge producers, but they weren't doing expired listings and for sale by owners. They were, I think maybe mailers or stuff at the time. And so I was introduced to call expireds and for sale by owners. We all jumped on that. And it was pig-headed discipline. They said, you don't get distracted and go out and start working with buyers. And I didn't really want to work with buyers. That wasn't I was burnt out of buyers, for 3 years.
Like quick, you got burnt out on them.
Yeah. I mean, for 3 years, I'm working 100 hours a week with buyers, evenings and weekends. And thank God I was young and single and, I could do that. But I was thinking like, if I get married and wife and kids, I'm not going to be able to do this. So I was looking for an agent that basically like would handle the buyers while I handle the listings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Little did I know that was going to be the start and the creation of quote unquote a team.
Because from the outside looking in, I mean, this was like, my God, what, 15-ish, 16 years, 17 years ago. I was like watching you say, yeah, I'm just going to have Sandy come in and take the buyers. And from the outside, I'm like, does this dude have enough business to support this?
Yeah.
Did you really at that time, or you just didn't care about having enough business to support it? Like you were just like, I don't care what it costs. I'm just doing it anyway. I want my life back kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, I don't know that I had enough at the time. We had signed calls. I carried about 20 to 30 listings at the time. Yep. And I taught Sandy to do what I was doing. So when she wasn't working with buyers, she was also going after listings too. The expired for sale by owner script. So, she was trying to bring in some listings. And at the time, there was no Zillow and, none of these third-party sites.
Right.
I got into the whole website thing and creating a lot of pages, organic traffic. So I'd get a lot of buyers from my website. And it was enough to keep her busy. I mean, you don't need a lot of buyers to keep you busy. I mean,
right.
four or five buyers at a time
right.
is probably your max if you're doing it right.
Right. But then it just started to grow and scale. And it happened, I think, honestly, pretty quick. Just like you said, that was just the initial catalyst. You've always been a big proponent of like coaching. You've always had coaches and mentors, right?
Yeah.
So at what point, or maybe it's just like this recognition of like how you must recognize it faster when you've outgrown a system or outgrown a model or outgrown, you know what I mean? You're to scale it. You must have like some sort of intuitive sense for that.
You know what? I'm constantly pulling the trigger on things. I'm shooting, asking questions later. So I'm always trying things, and most of the stuff I try doesn't work. But every once in a while, I hit bullseye, right? And then that's all everybody sees. No one sees all your failures, and people are scared to fail. People are scared to try things, and what if this, what if that? I just go into everything thinking it's going to work, and then I'm disappointed. 99 out of 100 things don't work, and but the one that does, there's a saying: you only have to get rich once, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you don't need to have a lot of wins, but the few that you do have, if they're big wins and you scale it,
I'm listening to a book right now. I had to look it up on my phone, The Psychology of Money, and it's talking about Munger and Buffett, and they said, if you take a look at their history, they really only had a few opportunities that resulted in big wins. If you look at it overall through the course of their 50, 70 years or whatever they've been doing this now, whatever it is, there's a lot of losses along the way. So I mean, that's just more of what you're reinforcing there is just shoot often.
Yeah, absolutely. And then keep in mind, I mean, as simple as it sounds, it's simple but not easy. Since Sandy was handling the buyers, and I had an assistant, her name was Marsha. All my job was I was either on an appointment, which, how many appointments are you going to be on in a day? 1, maybe 2.
Yep.
Other than that, from 7 in the morning, my routine was I got there at 7 in the morning. Do you remember Jim Arminiak?
I know. Me, you, and Jim had this contest. We're like in a snowstorm, not going to lose 50
Yeah.
to be on
Whatever
time.
happened to Jim? Do you? I tried to track him down. I just wanted to shoot the shit with him one time, and I could not find him. I don't think he's in the industry because I googled his name and could not find him.
I don't
If
know.
you-
I thought
Okay.
it was like his parents live in here in Wyandotte or something. I don't know, but I think he's still doing some things, but he's just hiding. I think.
Okay. Yeah, he's a secret agent.
I think so. Yeah, but he's so great.
Okay. If
Yeah.
you ever find him, you got to let me know because I'd love to connect with him. He's part of my story. I mean, he doesn't know,
I
but
know.
I
mine
mean,
too.
I talk about him every single time because if you remember my story, me and Jim each wrote 10 checks for $100 each.
Yep.
You know, it was accountability. And we had to be in the office by 7 a.m. And it didn't matter if someone died in your family, a snowstorm. I don't care what happened. If you weren't there by 7 a.m., then the other person got to cash the $100 check. And whoever lost all their checks, the game was over.
Yep.
So that got me in the office, and I was prospecting literally 8, 10, as crazy as it sounds, 8, 10, 12 hours a day. It was me and you
Yep.
and Larry Copey. Remember Larry Copey, the pilot?
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry. Yeah.
Yeah. And Larry.
Larry was calling expireds out in Asia and Japan and wherever he was going, and we had a little crew, and we were all very competitive, and I think that's essential. You got to have other people doing it, kind of like working out. Whenever I have a weight loss contest, it always helps when I have other people. So we were all calling, and it was fun, and it was competitive, and we wanted to get our name on the board, and I was doing this. And I think what really just separates me from I was doing it 8, 10, 12 hours a day. I mean, if you're calling every day for 2-3 years for 8, 10, you're going to build something that's just going to be so out of control. Nobody's going to be able to control you. And so I did it, Glover did it, you did it, almost every mega producer, unless you had money, which most of us didn't have.
Right.
That's what we did. That's all we knew.
I mean, but then it compounds, right? So you banged the phones and you went hard, and then, you weren't, and you still don't, talking much about the actions that you're taking. Like when you commit to being in front of an audience, you commit wholeheartedly, and you're here now, and you're going to share, right? But in between these moments, you don't say very much. Is it because your brain is just constantly going, and or is it like an intentional move? What is this? What is it?
It's just about staying humble. One of my biggest pet peeves in this industry is, agents, realtors, they're just so arrogant, and I just, it disgusts me, to be honest with you. You're an agent. I mean, all the time we're negotiating offers, and they always got to bring up how much they sold. And do you know who I am? That's just something that I just, I've never, I don't know. I haven't been in other industries to know. Is this just common in every industry? Like, does the insurance guy call up another insurance guy and tell him how many policies he's sold and written? Like, I never understood that. We're the only industry where everybody knows how much we make and how many homes we sold. And if they don't know, we're going to tell you. If you don't know how many homes they sold, I'm going to tell you.
Actually, that's a pretty good point. And you know what? It is.
Realtors spend more time calling us to make sure that their name is on that listing in the MLS. And we talked about this recently. Like, my name's not on any listings on the MLS anymore, unless it's my personal, friend or family that I handle. Other than that, I'm not on. Like, the MLS, as long as I've been 21 years, they've never given us any awards, nothing. Like, what do you get for being? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but people want, because they want other realtors, when they look up the stats and the statistics, they want them to know how many homes I've sold.
It's funny. I literally just had this conversation this weekend with our friend Randy. I was at his house this weekend, and he said, "Yeah, I pulled him up in the MLS, and he's not really, doing too much." And I said, "The MLS lies. It lies. It lies." I remember we would look at the MLS stats and go, "What? I know my own numbers. I know what I did because I keep it in my Excel spreadsheet. Like, I know."
Well, it's actually a huge liability to have your if it's not your sale and you're in the MLS on that purchase agreement you're going to get dragged in when that deal goes to court, when it gets in front of the ethics. You're going to get dragged in.
Yeah.
And for what? So other realtors or brokers who are maybe trying to recruit, or I don't know what the point is. So I'm not on anything anymore. And I don't want my name on anything anymore. I just, just show me the money. That's all I want.
That's exactly what I was going to say to that. That it just comes down to profitability, not about the show.
Yeah.
Like, and running a profitable business. Like my husband would say, I don't care what job title you give me. Call me janitor. Just pay me.
Right.
Just pay me. And I think that's part of it is the ego that goes along with it in the show. I mean, you put this out there on Instagram yourself, so I can talk about this. You just bought a Lamborghini, right?
Yeah.
You did. And yeah, super stud. We see that, Ron. I know he is. And so you just bought a Lamborghini, but I would say honestly, that's something that you wanted since you were a kid. I don't think that is something that, because I know you, that you did for show. I think you did that for your own personal joy and fulfillment and for something fun for you. I mean, you've been hiding that thing.
You know how many times I went back and forth? Do I do the post? Do I not do the post? Do I do the post? What
do I do? Do I do the post or I not do the post? But that, I think there's the difference. Like, I don't think you did that just for ego purposes. I think you did that for fulfillment purposes.
I mean, I did it for a lot of reasons. For number one, it's been something I've always wanted since I was a little kid.
Right.
And I have this rule that, I got a lot of younger cousins and friends that are, trying to come up. And one common question they always ask is, how do you know when you can afford how do you know when you can afford that house? How do you know when you can afford that car? And I will say, you should be able to buy 3 of them.
Oh, good.
If you can buy 3 of them, then you can afford it. And I'm always conservative by nature. And I've always felt like this industry in general has just been too good to be true for me. Call it what it is. And so I've never been able to justify in my mind that I could get this car until I had enough passive income, right?
Yep.
And, I just, the Houston deal that we did.
Yes.
When I got done with that Houston deal, I put in a nice chunk of money.
Mm-hmm.
And that money that I put in pays for 2 Lamborghinis, right? So that in my mind justified, all right, you can do this now, Mark, because, instead of your money being in the bank, I put it in an apartment building.
Yep.
And the monthly check that I get for that, is going to be around 10 grand a month. And, the Lambo payment's going to be about 5 grand a month, I think.
Okay.
So there we go. So I'm like, this isn't costing me anything really. I got 10 coming in. I'm going to put 5 here, and I'm still going to have an extra 5 that I didn't have last month. And so in my mind, that justified me getting it. Something since I was a little kid, it's always been a dream. People have told me that I couldn't have it, and nothing fuels me more. I love it when people tell me that. Next is a private jet. That's next on my list. It's not anytime soon. It's going to take years and years, but. Again, people told me you're crazy. I don't know. We'll see. But that's next. How nice would it be, Michelle? We're going to Vegas, and we go in the private jet, right?
Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, what's money for? Money's for security, for freedom. It's people make it like it's such a bad thing. And as long as you're doing good things with it and helping people, and even if you don't have a purpose for it, in the material. People say I'm not in the materialistic. Okay, good. Take it and go help other people, because a lot of people need that money to be helped, right?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's exactly what it's about. I think it's about that. It's about security. It's security. It's could you be sick for a month, for 6 months? Could you quit your job in pursuit of your next passion? This is what money buys: freedom.
Absolutely. And all that could happen, and I'm prepared for it. I've been like racing the clock. I had an heart issue one time that, I almost died from. My brother died at a young age. So, I've been surrounded by things, I'm not what's naive. That's the word. I'm not naive to what could happen in life. I've lost an uncle that had 3 kids. He was under 50 years old. Like, I've had people that could happen at any time. Right. And I want my wife and my kids to at least have some security. And so you're only lying and telling yourself things that, You know that's not true. We need money to live. You just need it. And if you don't have it, you're gonna have to beg, borrow, and steal in order to get the things you need to survive, right? So I'm not saying it's everything, because by far it's not everything.
Right.
But it's one piece of the puzzle of life that I personally don't have to worry about.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
Well, you built peace of mind for yourself. I mean, I know you said, God, I mean, well, you already answered my next question. I was like, what's the next thing for you? It really is a jet? Is that really the next jet?
That's not the next thing for me. I mean, if I was to think about a materialistic thing, the next thing for me is to continue building this empire of realtors that I'm bringing up right now. We're up to 70, I think, on the team, between 60 and 70, and I'm watching these new agents. I've brought on 3 or 4 brand new agents in the last. We bring on probably 7 to 10 every month, but in the last 3 months, there's 3 or 4 in particular that I'm watching just take off. They remind me of myself. I mean, they're grabbing listings, they're calling expireds, they're closing buyer. And for me, it's just that inner gratification of showing them my systems and tools and the things that I did, and then seeing them run with it. It's an affirmation that, it's confirmation, I guess is the right word, confirmation that this stuff works and it's repeatable and duplicatable. And I didn't just get lucky. Other people can do it. Anybody can do it. If you just do what I did, do what you did. You know, what I did was nothing. You did it. There's a lot of people who did it, right? But watching them grow and seeing them change their family's life, and it's going to be their kids, and you know, they're going to leave legacies behind. And so watching that, and now we're on this platform of EXP, which there's a financial benefit as well for me to help all these agents, which, you know, there never was before. And I've been helping people my entire career, you know, answering questions. And, you know, Dan Beer will tell you, before he got into real estate, or when he got into real estate before EXP, we were on the phone all the time brainstorming, and I was helping. And, you know, there was no financial benefit for me. Dan Beer was in San Diego. Right.
Right. Yeah.
Well, wasn't in my Keller Williams downline or anything. I was just helping, you know, and you did that. How many years have you helped people? Right.
Well, yeah, for sure. But there is this is making it fun again. This is another thing to do. And I, you know, in terms of building, and I think that's it at the end of the day. I mean, builders are born to build, period. Like,
right.
You know, you're in a spot right now where, like you said, you don't need to work right now. This is just because it's your passion. I mean, why would you get up and put the button-down shirt on and jump on a Zoom when you don't really have a need for it right now? You don't, you know, and but it's because it's in your DNA to watch other people grow. And that's, I'm gonna tell you, that's one thing I was really, really stubborn and hard to learn, was that we were so used to being in. I know you're like, Michelle Sayward, you drive me crazy, because I'm stubborn, and it's hard to learn that we were in this dog eat dog sort of environment of real estate, that these are my trade secrets and I'm not going to share this information with you, right? It's guarding the chest. And when I came over to eXp Realty just a couple months after you, I had a really hard time between you and I realizing this was a genuine collaboration and sharing environment. And it took a bit of a mindset shift for that took me a couple months to get used to that idea. It's completely changed. It's
different. You know, I mean, you're helping your competition who's not on your team. They're in your area.
Yeah.
Good chance you could be on listing appointments, you know, competing for a listing or trying to attract a buyer. And yet you're helping these guys grow. That's a concept that, you know, as long as we've been in, that's kind of weird. That's awkward, right?
Very, very.
Yeah.
But it's been a great gift, and it is really fun to help other people grow and to be at that point in our lives. I think that's that's mastery, right? When you now can give what you've learned and share it back with other people and have that success. So,
absolutely. That's cool.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I gotta say that one of the most pleasant surprises in that collaboration was to realize how giving and how generous you really are.
Oh, thank you.
Because you keep your mouth shut a lot and you stay humble, you know, that I don't think people get to bear witness to that often enough. That how much you really do care and how much you do try to help people.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, yeah. So thank you.
What about you? What's next for you? What's you growing out the team this year?
I'm going to take more of Mark's advice this year. Actually, I didn't take your advice, and it was quite an expensive mistake. So I'm going to take some more of your advice going forward and push this thing and grow. Yes, I believe builded the team this year. That is one of the things that I'm focused on. It's difficult, and I don't know how you've managed.
Right? The control, letting go of the control, and someone else is going to go take this listing, and are they going to take my clients? They're going to get to know them better than me, and what if they leave?
Yeah.
And, all those thoughts go through your head.
And that's part of leveraging. And that's why I'm like, how did you accelerate this so quickly? Because you've got the real estate, you've got the property management, you've got title, right? Is there is there more mortgage or no? No, just those.
No.
So 3 arenas to divide your time and attention to. And
Home improvement company.
Home improvement. That's right.
Mayo Brothers Home Improvements.
Mm-hmm.
How about the all the apartments?
Yes.
Now the new venture with Borland Capital.
Yes, that too.
So it's a lot, but you got to put. It's a chess game, right? You got to put kings and queens in place, to run every little venture. And you're going to get a piece of each, right? That's my vision. I'm not going to get the whole pie. I used to get the whole pie. Now I just get a piece, and my piece keeps getting smaller. That's what happens every year. It does. My profit margin goes down, but my volume goes up.
Right. Yes.
And that's scary when you see your profit margins go down.
Right.
But it allows us to do what me and you do best, and that's build.
Correct.
Right? If you had nothing else on your plate besides figuring out and trying to figure out, how am I going to do more? What am I going to do? If that's all that Michelle had to do, if that was your job, was just figure out, how am I going to do more? What else can I add to my business? What am I missing? Postcards? You know all the things.
Oh, yeah. Right. I got one that came up. Yep.
And if you think about it, someone's killing it in every one of those marketing mediums, whether it's postcards, somebody who's killing it.
Yep.
Radio.
Yep.
Social media.
Yep.
TV.
I have a name for everybody that you're naming, like in my head, right?
The internet.
Yep.
Every one of those things. But there's only so much time in the day. How much can you do? You're on listing appointments. We're talking to a buyer. You're managing your admin staff. You're answering questions to the closing company, the mortgage company, the title company. But just imagine if that was your only job.
It makes my heart sing, the idea.
So, that's Mark Z's job. I was Mark, you're the king of Mark. That's all I have to focus on. Like, I don't have anything else to do. That's my job. All the people I've got in place to handle all the other things. And so while the average person might have, 40 hours in their week, because everyone says, oh, everybody has the same amount of time. It's what you do with it. No, that's not true. I've got over 400 hours in my week. Think about it. I got Kurt's hours. I got Desiree's hours. I got, Jimmy's hours. I got Marissa's hours. I got Mark Rosario. I got 12 people.
Yeah.
And I own all of their hours.
Right.
That's 400 or 500 hours that I get to play with, that I get to delegate with. Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? Can we do this? And so when I have 500 hours and my competition has 40, or maybe best case scenario, they have an assistant 80, that's gas on that fire, and that thing's just gonna explode. And how are they gonna be able to catch me? It's gonna be very, very hard. And so the more hours that you can add into your world, the faster you're gonna grow. You got to keep adding people, because people is the cheapest, the most economical way that you're going to be able to grow your business. Sure, you can add a marketing here and a marketing there, but good people, I'm telling you, and I'm blessed. I've got great people. If my team's watching, thank you. I love you guys, because I got great people. I got great people below me, and I'm not too proud to say they run the ship. I mean, they do a great job.
I mean, this is like a full circle conversation, maybe a square circle, whatever. Full circle conversation is that, we've got, it becomes more and more about the people. And it started for you with your first buyer's agent. That idea of people and scaling and having the good humans around you, right? So
and she's still with me today.
She's still with you today. But but I think that's what, like, that's just the match that started this whole fire. Like what you're saying is that, okay, when you add the right people, like, hey, you're going to grow your team, you're going to leverage yourself, you're going to do the property management, you're going to do the syndication stuff, you're going to do, right? Like all these other arenas that you're in, it just comes down to putting kings and queens in place, leveraging the people. And I had the same conversation this weekend that it's almost that the higher you go, the more it becomes about the integrity, the personality, the drive of the people that you surround yourself with. Everything that you do is trust. Everything that you do, where you put your money is trust. How you leverage your time is trust. It all comes down to trust and knowing the people.
Yeah. Yep. You got it.
And shoot the gun.
Yes. Keep shooting the gun.
That's right. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for jumping on. That's it. Unless you got more you want to talk about. What do you want to do?
Goes by fast.
I got an appointment at 2:00, so we can just hang out here. I can get a cup of coffee. But yeah,
it goes by fast.
It does go by. It does go by really, really quick. But yeah, so I mean, I guess this is why I'm doing these videos of like, okay, these are the people in EXP. These are the people that are partners and the relationships that we're creating, and these are just a small sample of the conversations that we're having. Right. I mean, our conversations go bigger than this, which is why I should have listened to Mark about a little while ago here.
It's a strong group. I mean, when I think back in my career, I mean, everything I've learned, 90% of the stuff I didn't come up with, I've learned from another realtor or someone in a mastermind, you know, a bigger thinker, or, you know, someone who's been there and done that. And when I think back at, you know, all that opportunity and the people that I've learned from, we basically put that all together, you know, in the last 2 years. And I know, and I'll argue till the day I die, man, we have got the strongest group. We're surrounded by the biggest thinkers.
We do.
And unless you're actually experiencing it or get a taste of it, trust me, you have no clue. It's going to take you a lot longer. You can still get there if you're out there watching. You can still get there. No question, you'll get there. But you're going to be going like a turtle compared to what you could do if you just came in this circle and experience the love, the gratification, the forward thinking, the generosity in this group. It's not something I can explain because you wouldn't understand. You just wouldn't.
And that's that right there. That it's like when I said, how did you accelerate so much faster than me? You were in masterminds. I was in masterminds.
Yes.
I've always had coaches. You've had some different coaches because you know, whatever, but still we've always been you and I have always been a big proponent of coaching.
Yeah.
And now it's like you can put this on fast forward. I mean, the guy you were talking about in San Diego, Dan Beer, I was in his neck of the woods just last weekend. You
just went, to that, what was it, the ISA, Inside Sales Agent Mastermind, right?
Yep, Mastermind. And I mean,
John Cheplack.
Yep, John Cheplack. And we're sitting there at a you know, after the event's done during the day, and we're all sitting around the fire on this big, huge sectional couches in this big, great room and sipping our little glasses of wine. And that's where real conversation comes in. And I'll tell you what, Dan challenged me in that arena. And it's one of those challenges where I think, like you, like me, that if you're competitive, someone tells you can't do something, can't buy that Lambo, Mark, can't buy it. Oh man, thank you very much for telling me I can't do that, because I know what I'm going to do with that information.
Right.
Watch me.
And that might have been something that you wouldn't have been introduced to, you know, had you not been in this group. You know, it's things like that. But you got to admit, that may have changed your career. You know, you pick up one or two little things that may get you on a different path that you otherwise would not have been on.
Hands down.
Right?
Hands down. Absolutely.
That's why I remember you asked, should I go to this? I mean, gosh, every event that I'm not going to say most events that I've gone to, especially when you've got the people that I knew were going to be at this event.
It's crazy.
I mean, you know, you got first of all, one of the most renowned coaches in the industry right now. You've got, you know, Dan Beer, who's, you know, one of the number one luxury agents. You know, his average price point is like $1 million. He sold 350 million or something. I mean, you don't want to go and be surrounded by that for 2-3 days, you know. And you know, we're blessed. We're very blessed. I don't want something bad to happen before I show my gratification. And I'll tell you and I'll tell the world, I'm very thankful for the people that are surrounded in my life. And
Yeah,
we're going to keep growing.
for sure. For sure. This is the fastest way to get there. So thanks for giving a little intel as to what's on behind the scenes here at EXP. So I appreciate you. All right. Thanks again, Mark.
You got it. We'll do it again.
All right.
Thanks.